Good evening and welcome to the final episode of Solutions of Success, and Happy New Year to everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all my friends and family who made Solutions of Success possible, the school systems, and of course UCTV for letting my dream come true and having a television show to promote the activities in North Georgia. And I'm going to close this year with the final episode and one of my favorite episodes that includes my dear friend James Rogers, as he has become since he came to meet with me at my home in the backyard and share his story. I'll leave you with that happy remembrance for this year and for 2016. May God continue to bless America. May His face shine upon us, His light be on our path, and as always, thank you, God, for giving us beautiful North Georgia. I'm Paula Stinnett. God bless you all. James, you know, sitting here by the fire with the crisp autumn air, drinking hot apple cider, sort of makes you start thinking about how wonderful things are and how thankful we should be.
Absolutely. This is my favorite time of the year too, and we do have a lot to be thankful for every day.
Amen. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Solutions of Success, where we're going to focus on exactly why we are so thankful. Joining me this evening is someone I'm sure all of you know, have probably even heard, even recently here in Fort Oglethorpe, James Rogers, our hometown guy.
Thank you for letting me be on the show with you. It's really a pleasure to be here.
Well, you're definitely making this show because the time I've spent with you since we've formally been introduced and gotten to know you, I learned what a really great dynamic guy that you are.
Well, thank you. I hope I deserve that. Whether I deserve it or not, I really appreciate it.
We had the great opportunity of spending some time together and talking about why God is so important in our lives and all the magnificent things that we've experienced and are so thankful for, and how your music reflects.
Absolutely. Once again, this is my favorite time of the year, and once upon a time, maybe I wasn't quite as thankful for everything I'd been blessed with, and but I had a bout with the dread disease cancer, and after having that and realizing just how fragile life is, it made me reevaluate everything, and from that moment on, my whole world changed and life had a new meaning, and it's been reflected in the music that I write, and but that's the way it's always been, you know, with myself as a performer and songwriter. I write about the things that I'm dealing with or thinking about at the time, and so anyway, yes, I have a lot to be thankful for, and my music certainly reflects that now as I write songs about just life in general, write songs about my grandchildren, write songs about being married to the same lovely person for 41 years, and friends. I write a lot of songs about friends.
Well, definitely friends and family are the most important things in our lives, because without them, it wouldn't have as much meaning, would it?
We wouldn't have it. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have performed a lot, and I've done all right, and making a success out of music. But when it all is said and done, you realize that it's your family and your friends and just the things that are really close to home. That's the things that mean the most to you, because not that that money and being successful is not good, because it is. Because you can be sad and be poor too. Um, but it certainly, you certainly find out really quickly that when you think about it, that the things that you're blessed with just the love of family and friends, that's the most important thing in the world. It's not the car you drive or where you live or the vacation you take.
True, because you can be poor and still be the happiest person around.
Absolutely.
Because your blessings, it's all about how you count your blessings.
And what you deem as important and the value that you place on relationships and family and friends.
True. My uncle taught me many, many years ago, the first in my life is God, the second, my country, and the third, my family. Because without God, there would be no country. Without my country, there would be no family. And those things I keep in that order. And when I have them in that order, I find that my life is much more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Now, you've wrote many songs about our country.
Well, I've written a lot of patriotic songs, whether it's This Is America or Stand Up Tall America, or the song that I'm really proud of, the one that was adopted by the National Guard as theme song, I Guard America. Yes, I'm thankful for this nation and the ideals that it represents, and so yes, I've written a lot of patriotic songs, and still am writing songs. I'm in the process right now of writing a new one. So.
Wonderful. Well, that's one of the things I love about your music. I see how it has evolved through the years. Why don't we take a moment and let's hear your patriotic song for the National Guard.
I was the Minuteman at Concord's Bridge in the Charter around the world. I was there on Bunker Hill when Old Glory was unfurled. And if my country calls me from within or from afar, I'll be there to answer, proud to be the Guard, defending freedom, protecting dreams. That is the spirit, that's what it means to me. For my God and my home that I love, I guard America. And in the eye of an enemy, or in the eye of a storm, we face the dangers as they come, in any shape and form. I am your sons, your friends, your fathers, and I'm your daughters working hard to be the best, to keep us strong, proud to be the Guard, defending freedom, protecting dreams. That is the spirit, that's what it means to me. For my God and my home that I love, I guard America, defending freedom, protecting dreams. That is the spirit, that's what it means to me. For my God and my home that I love, I guard
James, thank you. That lets me know why we are so empowered and so emotional when listening to songs about our country and those who serve our country.
Absolutely. I really love taking the opportunity of trying to express how we feel about our soldiers, the men and women in uniform who are willing to put their lives on the line for us. And I think oftentimes they don't get all the credit that they deserve, or the accolades that we should bestow on them more often. They're just silently, quietly somewhere going about their jobs and keeping us all safe and free.
Well, and definitely underpaid and so often underappreciated. Thank you for taking your time and writing that and showing your passion and emotion that you feel.
Well, the Guard song was very easy to write because I was a guardsman. I was in the National Guard. And I remember when Colonel McFarland approached me with the idea of writing a song, and I mentioned to him that there were some other songs that he could use, but he said, no. He said, we want a song that was written for the Guard, about the Guard, by a guardsman, not some outside person. And so, anyway, he had already heard my song "Flag Will Fly" and "This Is America," and but of course those are patriotic songs, but they're not just about the Guard. So he wanted me to write a special song for the Guard, and I said, okay, Jerry, I'll tell you what we'll do. I said, I'll write a song, and if you like it, it's yours. It's for the Guard. Do with it whatever you want to. But I said, if it's not any good, let's tear it up and don't tell anybody I wrote one.
Destroy the evidence.
He said, right. And he said, that's a deal. And so, but I was very fortunate, and I wrote the song literally 2 months before Desert Shield and Desert Storm. That's when I had just finished it, when none of us knew all of that was going to happen. That was the first Gulf War. And then they used it all through the Gulf War, and I went to many, many special functions, family support groups all around the country, singing that song for the families and for the soldiers on docks and everywhere else, just for them. And then the years go on by, and then it wasn't though until 1999 that I was invited to Washington. And in Washington was when the Joint Chiefs of Staff and even Stormin' Norman was there, and they said, we're really glad you're here and to sing the song for us. And it gives us, this was General Paul Weaver, and he said, because we want to let you know that we have officially adopted your song as the theme song for the National Guard. And so, like I said, that's like the biggest honor of my entire career as far as music goes, of all the things I've ever done. And there's been quite a few great moments, but that one. But well, I hope I didn't get too far off the subject. But yes, it was easy for me to write the song for them, though, because of my passion. I loved them, and I had been a weekend warrior or a National Guardsman, and so I was very honored when all the good things happened like they did. But even if the accolades and things hadn't have come, I would have still felt really good in here, and because I had done this song and I'd seen the looks of my fellow soldiers and the families, and so one more thing to be thankful for right there. You can't buy that stuff.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You can't buy that. You can't even quantify it.
Well, Buddy certainly liked it.
Hey, Buddy. He's a good boy.
He is a great boy. He is. Keeps his mama company always. James, speaking of being thankful and all the things that God has bestowed upon us, You've written songs about your thankfulness and the grace of God.
Absolutely. I'll just give you a little backstory on the one in particular. The one, it was a time in my life when my life really did change. In 2006, a little backstory here. I was not only doing shows at Dollywood in the daytime, had a great gig. I did shows in the nice theaters, and but another group out on the Strip at Governor's Palace said they were wanting to put on a special Christian-based, Christian-themed show, and it was going to be called Fixin' to Rain, and it was kind of like Noah's Ark meets Brother Where Art Thou.
That's a combination.
And they just had to have me as the narrator. I was Ned, who was the guardian angel of Noah, but Noah was his guardian angel. Noah thought I was just a pain because I was always urging him to do these things and trying to straighten him out on certain things. It was a very cleverly written story, but anyway, they decided that I was the guy that had to be Ned and narrate it, and it pretty much carries the audience the whole story through. And it was placed in the Appalachian Mountains during the time of the Depression. It's like if Noah's Ark had happened then. And so, and the music was a lot of fun and great. Well, anyway, I wanted to do it. So I approached Dolly and the rest of the gang, and I said, look, they're wanting to do this story, and once again, this is how I was blessed. They said, well, you can do some shows over here at Dollywood, but in the evenings, if you want to go over there and do that show, that's great. Well, that's all. It was also going to be financially very great because I had my day job, but I had an evening job that was really easy for me, and it was very lucrative. So I wanted to do them both. But then one evening, it was time for my physicals and everything like that, and I was exercising. I thought I was in decent condition and everything, and but I had the prostate exam, and my blood numbers weren't coming back to please Dr. Garmany. She's a lady doctor and a good friend of mine, Tracy Garmany. And she called me and she said, I really don't like the numbers. I said, well, look, I've looked this up on the internet, and if your number's below 4, you're supposed to be okay. And she said, that doggone internet and all this stuff. She said, but James, honey, she said, your number has moved an entire decimal point in 6 months. That's not normal. Even, yes, it's still below 4, but it shouldn't have moved that much from, from say 1 to 2, or which mine had gone from 2 to 3 to 5. Well, anyway, cutting to the chase, I had a biopsy, and then all of a sudden, the doctor that had done the biopsy calls me up one night, and he starts after this, and I'm waiting for the results. And he calls me up my home personally in the evening, and he starts asking me if I'd been able to get out and do any fishing or golfing. And this guy's not a small talker. And I said, I'm already not liking this conversation. And bottom line was, I had cancer.
Oh my.
And there was no, and once you get a phone call and somebody tells you you have cancer, you really don't hear a whole lot after that. I mean, they start talking numbers and things that we can do and everything like this, but your mind starts reeling. And I was thinking, right at this time, why now? I've got this great opportunity. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I mean, I was 56 at the time, and I had a real opportunity to really do something well for a while, and security for the family, and then so anyway, so I was kind of angry, and but I said okay, but I got the work ethic that I was given by my wonderful parents. I wasn't going to quit or anything by that any stretch. So I was okay, we'll go after this. But I was very blessed once again. And it wasn't an accident. I was blessed. The head of cancer research at Vanderbilt Hospital is the one that actually did my surgery. Dr. Smith, a great fella. And we did the cancer, and he said he felt real good because they got it early and everything. And I was real happy, but I was really cut up at the time too, you know. And right at and this is the time too when rehearsals are supposed to start for the new show, as well as getting ready to try to do my shows at Dollywood and do that on top of it, which I'd be working, 11, 12 hours a day. And I'm thinking, can I be in this shape and still work 11, 12 hours a day? So I was pretty angry. I said I could if I wasn't sick, And so anyway, I'd had the surgery and got back home, got back down to North Georgia. And I'm very blessed again in that I don't live on a farm, but I live beside a farm. And I get to see all the animals, whether it's goats and cattle and horses and donkeys and whatever else my farmer neighbor John Arnold decides to put out there at the time. And I love it. I absolutely love it. We even sneak carrots out there and feed the different horses and the donkeys and stuff, which we shouldn't do, but we do, and apples and stuff. And they come up to the fence and you pet them. Well, anyway, so I'm out there then one morning and I've got tubes and wires. It'd been a rough night because of the pain, and you start not even knowing day from night. You just sleep and rest when you can because you're in a lot of pain. And so I'm out there, and I'm also at the same time I'm thinking, I need to be in rehearsals right now. And I wonder what number they're probably going to be working on today, and this sort of thing. And and I was really kind of angry. And then after another little checkup, they said, James, you're really doing great, and we really feel good about your numbers now. And it was. And then all of a sudden, I was out there this one particular morning. I'd been up since before daylight, but the sun started coming up, and it was really foggy. And the little goats are running around, and they're just bouncing, and they're playing, and the sun is sending shards of light through the fog. It looked almost like a stage setting at Music Mansion, where we would do the hazing and stuff, and and then run the special moving lights through it to make it look so beautiful, like those guys can do. But it couldn't have been any prettier. And then all of a sudden, I was just out there, and I mean, it just hit me, Paula. And I finally realized, and it hits me every time I start thinking about it, that God hadn't given me a burden. He'd given me a second chance, because I was going to be okay. And not only that, He'd shown me what was really important. Because then I realized, because as all that happened, it was the family and the people around you then that you thought, if this goes the other way, you mean that was it? All the things I wished I would have done, I don't think anybody on their deathbed is ever going to say, I wished I'd have done that one more show on August the 15th back in 2012 or whatever. Oh my goodness, I'm just pouring my coffee on myself. Back in 2000, I wished I'd have just done 3 more shows that day. You don't be thinking about stuff like that. Or I wished I'd have made $1 more million. That's just not what you're going to be thinking about. It's going to be the people you love. And boy, did that just wake me up and turn my life around. And then it wasn't long after that then that the angels started to sing, and I wrote Brand New Day, thankful. That's how I wrote that song. But it was a real life lesson, and I've been told, as I've shared the song with a lot of other people that have gone through cancers and other illnesses, and that, I'm very glad that it's meant something special to them too. So, but I have been there.
Let's pause for sponsors for which we are thankful. And when we come back, James will share us a song with us. Uh-oh, Dad's gonna be mad.
If you find yourself in need of an attorney, call the law offices of Robert L. Stoltz. From auto crashes to forming a corporation, attorney Robert L. Stoltz can help you through some of life's ups and downs. Call him at 858-0023 or visit his offices at 376 Cloud Springs Road, Fort Oglethorpe.
State Line Roofing and Home Improvement has been serving citizens in the tri-state area over a decade for both home and commercial construction, replacement, and repairs. Wayne Chapman has established an honorable reputation with credible references who will confirm the quality of his work. Give Wayne a call at 423-243-8590 for a free estimate consultation. State Line Roofing and Home Improvement encourages all students to invest their time in STEM programs through their local schools and colleges. Thank you for staying tuned to Solutions of Success. And now James is going to share his song, Thankful, A Brand New Day, when he realized how blessed he truly is.
It's a brand new day, and the sun is shining clear, and I'm on my way to somewhere far from here, and I don't know when I'll get there. Fast or slow, I don't care. It's a brand new chance for what tomorrow brings. There's a brand new dance, there's a brand new song to sing, and I'll do my best to sing it loud, to stand the test, and sing it proud, 'cause I'm thankful for this life I'm living, and a chance to do God's will along the way. Oh, I'm thankful for every blessing that I've been given, and I'm thankful for this brand new day. There's a brand new me and a brand new point of view. There's so much to see, and there's still so much to do. Lord, help me know each path to take, which way to go. Every choice I make, because I'm thankful for this life I'm living, and for a chance to do God's will along the way. Yes, I'm thankful for every blessing I've been given, and I'm thankful for a brand new day. Oh Lord, I'm thankful for this brand new day.
Thank you, James. I think Lady's thankful for you as well.
Well, ladies, just welcome. I'm thankful for ladies.
Me too. Oh, what a wonderful song, James.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I've been just blessed and happy and just glad to be able to share my music with people, and that's my witness for what God's done for me.
Truly. We spoke earlier. Now you're at that point in your life where you realized what's so important. And earlier you mentioned that beautiful bride of 41 years.
Right, absolutely, and my wonderful children, and and now I'm a grandparent, and had things not gone right, and had I not been blessed, I wouldn't have ever seen my grandson, James. They even named him James. So, that gets me, and now little Luke, and then another baby on the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, with Grandpa again. I'm a pop. I'm not a grandpa. I'm just pop.
Well, I can't think of a better title. So your family, have they inspired a lot of your music?
Oh, they inspire most of it. Now, granted, as a writer, you take literary license, but as far as the passion and the feelings that you have, that's where that comes from. It's like put an actor in a scene, and you want her to cry or want him to cry. Well, actually, what they do is in their mind they picture a moment in time with something that made them cry. Not have been what the scene is actually about, but that's where they will gin up the emotions and stuff, and the passion for it. So the family's been the driving force with everything.
Well, what type of fun song do you sing for those grandkids of yours?
Well, James' favorite song for me to sing is I'm Henry the Eighth, I am Henry the Eighth, I am. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. Everyone was an Henry. She wouldn't take a Willie or a Sam. I'm her 8th old man, I'm Henry. Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. And then you can go on and on. I'm Henry, the 100th time, I'm Henry. So James loves that one, and he starts dancing and everything,
Well, what do you tell right now? You've got soot from the fire on your hands, but there was something where you get a little moose under, and I always laugh.
Oh, and toad sucking and moose.
Yes, I love that. I never get tired of hearing it.
Oh my goodness, I got those from Mason Williams. Now, some folks might not recognize that name right away, but he's the guy that did a song years ago called Classical Gas. Tremendous musician and everything, but he was also a comedy writer for the Smothers Brothers. Well, I bought an album that he had done because of Classical Gas and to him playing the classical guitar. And I was thinking, oh, this will just be wonderful. And I buy this, and all of a sudden, there's all this, how about them toad suckers, ain't they? Sitting and sucking them green toad frogs, sucking them big toads, sucking them little. And I'm listening to this, and at first I'm mad. I said, wait,
what did I do? I want this classical guitar. What? But then I started listening, and I realized he's hysterical, absolutely hysterical. And well, what would you expect? He was one of the writers for the Smothers Brothers. So anyway, oh yeah, and Moose Goosers, and of course, and I turned all of that into my own little routines and stuff like that I would do, and I would tell stories about the Labor Day barbecue and toad sucking contest at Fort Oglethorpe, and all this.
We'll have to put that event in next year. Yes.
Just totally made it up. Just, oh my goodness, I don't know where I was coming from with some of that, but it was just fun.
I don't either.
Everybody was having fun, and so we had fun.
But I'm glad you go there, wherever it is. I'm glad you go there.
It's a special place, and it gets crazy. So, yeah.
But that's what makes it so fun. And seeing how much you love life and you appreciate making other people laugh.
Oh, that's what it's all about. People say, you get up there, a lot of times you just say those routines, and it's the same stuff. And how can you do that? Day in and every, that's the same stuff every day. And I remember somebody said that in particular, and I pointed, it was actually beyond the curtain. I said, they're different every time. I need to have my material prepared, but they haven't heard it. Most of them haven't heard it, and it's the first time for them. So you're rehearsed, and go do your stuff and make them laugh, have fun.
Well, you definitely do that. I know everyone was entertained. At the performances I've seen, everyone's entertained. You have people laughing, you have people crying. And then you close the show and everyone is just inspired when they leave your show to go and do, like your song, Fly Eagle. And tell me the story again about you and the Eagles. What's so special about Eagles to you?
Well, now that's one of those imponderables there, because I'm not sure, but I've always loved Eagles. Even when I was a little kid, we had how you build a little fort in a cabin, or not a fort, not a cabin, but like in the woods. You carve out a little area in the woods, and you and your buddies. Well, our club we were the Screaming Eagles, or we were the Eagle this or the Eagle that. It was never anything else, and so I've always loved Eagles. And when I was in Florida one time back in 1973, there was a Native American friend of mine who liked to hear me play music. He would come to see my shows and everything. Well, I love to bass fish because I love nature. I love being outside. And he wanted to take me bass fishing on the Ocklawaha, some people call it, river down in mid Florida in the Ocala National Forest. And so we went out there to go fishing, and we saw a lot of different animals and things, but when I saw this eagle, it was the first one I had ever seen actually in nature. I mean, lots of pictures, of course. Here's one actually flying around. I'm seeing an eagle for the first time. Like I said, it was 1973. I was 23, and I remember Fred Oakleaf saying to me, said, "Yeah, that's really beautiful, isn't it?" And he said, "It's a shame, James." He said, because the eagles are on the endangered species list, and they're going to go the way of the passenger pigeon. He said to me then, which at the time I had no children, he said, "But your children will probably not ever see that right there, because they're going to be all gone."
What a sad thought.
I know, and well, at the same time that our nation was going through all that it was going through, it was the end of the Vietnam War and Watergate and a lot of negative stuff. I thought wasn't it ironic that our symbol of strength and freedom is on the endangered species list? If you see what I'm saying, our symbol of strength and freedom, and it's on the endangered species list, and at the same time all this that we're going through as a country. And then I started to write, and I wrote Fly Eagle Fly, and that was the one that, it became the bicentennial song for the city of Chattanooga, Fort Oglethorpe first, city of Chattanooga, and then on to the state, and then it was taken to Washington, and it was a bicentennial song for the nation. It was one of two, songs, and it was carried on the Freedom Train all across the country, and they played it, and then it ultimately got me on Capitol Records, and a lot of good stuff, happened because of that one song.
So it was the catalyst that put you on Capitol.
Well, that was the one that really launched it, because at the same time I was doing all the toad sucking and moose goosing and the fun stuff, I was still writing songs and stuff. But they're looking for something, the record companies are looking, well, what's your song though? Because you do that and you do this, but what's your thing?
Your theme song. And this song also raised money, did it not, to help Eagles?
No. It introduced me to the people that were involved in saving the eagle, and they asked me to write a special song, which I did, called Save the Eagle. And I became a board member of the American Eagle Foundation. But Save the Eagle was recorded and sung by, Lee Greenwood, Tanya Tucker, Debbie Allen, the Oak Ridge Boys, Dina Carter, Ricky Skaggs, on and on. There was lots of people that sang on this song, and then it was released on an album of country greats back in the day of when there was K-Tel Records.
Oh.
And it sold, and the album and everything sold over 1 million copies, and so that was one of the ones that got me going too. And then I knew all of these people too. Plus I had been doing opening shows with Lee Greenwood and a lot of these folks anyway. I would be the guy that you saw out in front when they need a sound check, but they need somebody out there playing so they can do a live sound check. That's all you really were. But you thought you were a star like they were. So, but whether it was. So anyway, and then that song, Fly Eagle Fly, that was the one that really got it started and made people listen to me as a songwriter as well.
So your passion for eagles and the environment and our country, all three rolled into one.
That's really
opened
true.
the doors.
That's absolutely.
Being thankful for
Yes.
our country.
Yes.
Well, stay tuned, and we'll hear James sing Fly, Eagle, Fly. Uh-oh, Dad's gonna be mad.
If you find yourself in need of an attorney, call the law offices of Robert L. Stoltz. From auto crashes to forming a corporation, attorney Robert L. Stoltz can help you through some of life's ups and downs. Call him at 858-0023 or visit his offices at 376 Cloud Springs Road, Fort Oglethorpe.
State Line Roofing and Home Improvement has been serving citizens in the tri-state area over a decade for both home and commercial construction, replacement, and repairs. Wayne Chapman has established an honorable reputation with credible references who will confirm the quality of his work. Give Wayne a call at 423-243-8590 for a free estimate consultation. State Line Roofing and Home Improvement encourages all students to invest their time in STEM programs through their local schools and colleges. Welcome back to Solutions of Success. James, we talk about God, and we talk about through every tragedy God places in our lives, there comes a triumph. I lost my father roughly 3 years ago, and it was the most tragic thing in my life, as he was still a young man. But through that loss, I gained courage that he had instilled in me to go on and to do things that I never thought I would be able to do. He was gone so quickly. But your father passed away, and it was a lingering story. Could you share that?
I can. I remember I didn't even know what Alzheimer's was, or I couldn't even halfway pronounce it. I'm still sometimes not certain. But my mom had told me that my dad was different, and that he was doing some things, and his mind was not doing right. And so I remember one day in particular then that my mom had asked me to come up, called me and said, "You need to come up right now and talk to your dad." And because she was seeing this that was going on, and he would have more episodes, you know. And of course, I got up there, and we're sitting in the living room there, in the front room with TV and everything. We're just sitting around talking and everything. And Dad's just as normal as can be, just as normal as could be. And my mom, she's just doesn't know really what to say and everything. But we started talking about an old friend of his, or someone that he used to work with. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, gets up, walks across the room to my mother, and asks her if she is that old friend that he hadn't seen in many years. And this is the lady he's been married to for 52 years.
Oh.
And I'm sure my mouth just must have fallen wide open, because he could talk about cars and things that were going on, and it all made sense. But at that moment, then we knew something wasn't right with my dad.
Mm.
And it, of course, as Alzheimer's does, Nancy Reagan called it the long goodbye, talking about her husband Ronald. And so we saw it progress and everything. And of course, at the time too, I'm still working at Music Mansion at this point, and I've got the huge production show. And we were closed on Sunday, and so except on a few occasions when we have to do a special matinee or something, but most of the time we were closed on Sundays. And I remember, of course, I would come home on Sundays and stay as late as I could on Monday to visit with my dad after he got progressively worse and worse. And I remember one visit that I was at the home, and I come in and everything like that, and it was just he and I, and he started just talking then, because he had been asleep, but he woke up, and he started talking about, he didn't know if I knew him, but he had this wonderful son that was an entertainer, and he wrote songs, and he just travels all over the world, and everybody just loves him, and he's really proud of him. And at the same time, he doesn't realize that it's me that he's talking to, that I'm the son he's bragging about. And well, anyway, I stayed there for a while though, and we just talked and laughed, and I was always trying to do anything to make him laugh or smile, because he had the greatest laugh in the world. It was like a shotgun blast when my dad would laugh. You could hear him, as my mom used to say, well, you can hear him to Rossville when he starts laughing. And he had this great laugh and a great sense of humor. And so I'd always try to do something silly or something, try to get him to laugh. But anyway, he fell back asleep. And when he was laying there sleeping, and I knew I had to leave because I had a show that night in Pigeon Forge. I was going to have 2,000 people sitting out there waiting, and I had 80 employees up there that were counting on me to come and do that show. And anyway, I just said a prayer. I said, God, I said, just tell me what I can can do to help. And ultimately, I guess I did what God always has me do, is I wrote a song about it. Because, you know, in tragedy and triumph or whatever, I express it with some kind of a song or music, and I wrote a song called "Find the Way." But when I got back to Music Mansion that night, that Monday, it was, you know, and it's first of the week, and my theater manager, she came to me, and she would bring me mail and important things that might be going on, you know, just get me back up to speed. If they 29 special bus groups or something that's going to be there, and you know, we need to acknowledge and whatever is going on. And but she said, I have a letter for you, and it was from the Alzheimer's Association. It was from Janice Wade, who was the head of the East Tennessee Alzheimer's. And it was just a letter saying, James, we love your music and that sort of thing. But then she said, and we understand that you've been dealing with a special case with Alzheimer's, and we're just wondering if we can help you in any way. And that established a friendship with them, and I became the honorary chairman of the memory walks up in the Smoky Mountains. I was that for, gosh, about 15 years that I did that. And that was in 96 that happened. And then my dad passed in February of 98. And but I continued on with them today. And the song that I wrote, I gave to the Alzheimer's Association. I said, if you can use it, commercials or just anything that you want to use it for, if it can help or make money, that's why I wrote the song, was to help, to give, to, and so they took it and they ran with it, and they've used it a lot in that part of the world. So.
What a blessing, and I know you're thankful that you got to hear from your father exactly what he thought about his wonderful boy.
I know that it was tragic and special all at the same time, if you see what I'm saying.
We've talked about triumph from tragedy. We lose those in the older generation who we love, and we have those little ones who come along, God sends, to replace that pain that's in our hearts.
That's a great way of putting it, Paula. I wished I'd have said that.
Well, you know, I am the talk show hostess, okay? But
That's really well put.
And they have inspired in you even more great music. You have a new song coming out.
I have a brand new one on a new album, and it's called "Child of My Child."
Would you
Way
mind
of saying grandchildren?
Would you mind closing the show with your song?
Not a bit.
Wonderful.
Life goes on, the world keeps turning, time's big wheel keeps spinning round, and the sun just keeps on burning. The rains keep falling down, and the winds forever blow along the beach for miles and miles, just like my love for you, child of my child. I hope your heart.
Thank you for joining us for this special, thankful episode of Solutions of Success. May God continue to bless America. And as always, we are so blessed to be in North Georgia.
Takes you where life is kind. I hope your heart is full of sunshine, and your eyes will have a smile. This is my prayer for you, child of my child. Child of my child, you are so beautiful. You're a miracle and a dream come true. And our lives are blessed each day by the little things you say and do. And our hearts just filled with pride every time we see that smile. It's just the way of a special love, child of my child. It's just the way of a grandpa's love, child of my child.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.